Cataclismo, an RTS and tower defense hybrid with a decent story and several different game modes. But should you buy it right now? This video will answer all of your questions by starting with a 60-second, too long didn't read overview of the game so you can tap out early if it doesn't appeal to you. Then we'll see what it's like to actually play it by packing in as much detail about the gameplay as humanly possible before looking at some more practical considerations and the different types of players this game might appeal to, all to help you decide whether this game is worth your time and money today. In Cataclismo, you construct walls and battlements brick by brick. You train units that operate most effectively at different heights, and you fuel all of this by building an economy based on mining wood, stone, oxygen, and minerals, while researching improvements to make units and buildings more effective. In time, your wall construction will become an art form, with debates raging online over exactly which wall designs are most effective. But you can save and use blueprints for faster construction once you find a design you like. Although relatively basic, the economy and troop placement make this tower defense game appeal to RTS gamers. The post-apocalyptic story is genuinely decent, and there are a variety of other game modes, including wave defense horde modes, to keep you entertained. So if you like the sound of constructing an economy and perfecting a castle strong enough to hold back the horrors of the night with upgradable units and a crow that you can pet, Cataclismo might be your cup of tea. If that hasn't put you off, then grab a drink and get comfortable as we look through the detail of what you actually do in this game. Cataclismo is a top-down game that feels much like an RTS, where you highlight your units and tell them where to go in real time, though you will find yourself pausing time for long periods as you plan your defense. Although there are several different game modes, ultimately the objective of each game is to survive enough waves of horrors to progress to the next stage. Horrors come in a variety of shapes and sizes. With small, weak horrors that attack in great numbers, there are exploding horrors, tanky horrors, fast horrors, horrors that split into smaller horrors, and even a gigantic floaty horror that throws entire buildings at you. Ultimately, there's only one faction to fight against here, with a total of 7 different types of horrors, but there are opal versions of these horrors which are tougher to deal with. 7 enemy types might not sound like much, but there is enough variety here to keep players happy in terms of mechanics, giving you enough types of horrors that needs to be dealt with in different ways to keep the game engaging. You expand your population by building houses, then allocating your people as either workers or fighters. There are 7 fighter units in Cataclismo. Plus, you can have a hero unit, which we'll discuss later. Units are created one at a time and come with an upkeep cost. And it's worth mentioning that overall, you will only ever be commanding a handful of units, so don't expect to be commanding hundreds of soldiers. All units are ranged, but are more effective at a particular height relative to the enemy they are attacking. For example, a bowman wants to be at least 5 meters above the enemy, but lobbers wants to be lower down, forcing you to construct your defenses with windows and ledges that stick out at different heights in order to maximize unit effectiveness. Units also rank up after gaining experience, and each also has a special attack that they automatically use once it's been researched. 7 unit types versus 7 enemy types doesn't sound like much, but at no point did I feel more unit types were required. Each unit has its place in a tight and well-structured formula. It works very well. Your starting building is your central citadel. It's a strong building which contains battlements where you can place units, but if you lose your citadel, you've lost that level. Subsequent buildings require a clear path back to the citadel, which can get tricky as some buildings require height in order to be most efficient. So you'll need to construct a staircase in order to create a clear path. Between waves, you'll often explore away from your base in order to find a better choke point or some bonus resources. However, the area within which you can build is limited, so you'll need to construct a series of beacons, which will expand the zone in which you can build. Your walls and defenses are constructed brick by brick, although these bricks are absolutely massive, so you can build a simple wall very quickly. You can use wood or stone when building, but pieces higher up need to be supported by pieces below, and wood can't support stone. If a piece at the bottom of a wall is destroyed, the pieces above it might collapse, leading to absolute mayhem. However, certain styles of construction can limit the damage or keep a building standing even once a few sections have been destroyed. It's all down to resilient design. The higher you build your stone walls, the more HP that stone wall will have. And I mean significantly stronger once you go over certain height thresholds. There are also many tactical pieces that can be placed, such as doors to get through the wall, windows which improve a unit's range. A roof will cover units from rain, which would otherwise reduce their effectiveness. Merlons increase a unit's range. A banner near a unit increases their attack damage. Traps can be laid to damage and slow approaching horrors. The list goes on. There are basically unlimited possibilities when constructing your defenses, but don't worry, everything can be saved as a blueprint if you want to save and construct an elaborate setup with a single click. In some missions, you are given a limited number of resources and build pieces, and you have to make do with what you're given. But most missions require a full setup of your economy from scratch to ensure you can train and upgrade enough units and construct enough bonus-giving defenses to survive that particular level. Wood is gathered by constructing a sawmill close to trees. It has a limited gather range, so precise placement to maximize output is important. Once placed, you can toggle how many of your population should be allocated there to gather wood. You could allocate as many as you like, but there is an optimum number based on the size of the resource being gathered and the distance to the citadel. Then your workers need a clear path back to your main citadel for the resource gathering to begin. This exact same theory is the same for stone and minerals, and upgrades are available later to increase efficiency. Plus, you can build warehouses to shorten gathering distances. Oxygen, however, is a bit different, as you need to construct air filters high up in order for them to gather more oxygen. Verticality is a big part of this game. With buildings being able to be constructed on top of other buildings, many have a convenient slot on the roof where you can build air filters, or you could simply build a mini tower to accommodate an air filter that way too. There's also a trading building, which allows you to trade oxygen for the other resources later in the game, but it gets very expensive very quickly. Overall, the economy in Cataclismo is basic when compared with many other games, but having an RTS-style economy at all will be a welcome addition to this tower defense game. They've blended genres here, and as far as I'm concerned, it's worked out well. In the campaign and skirmish missions, you unlock levels of prosperity from 1 to 4. You do this by constructing certain buildings, then having the required resource cost to initiate your ascent to the next prosperity level. It's basically Age of Empires, where each level gives you an option to build better units, more buildings, more efficient resource collection, the usual sort of thing. In survival mode, however, to unlock these same upgrades, you need to fulfill certain objectives, which reward you with points you can spend to unlock the same upgrades. Some of these objectives encourage you to expand your economy, others to go out into the dark to destroy or find certain things. Alongside prosperity levels, you can also research a variety of improvements from a variety of different buildings. These improvements can do all sorts of things, such as increasing your unit's damage output, increasing harvesting rates, boosting the toughness of your walls, and much, much more. Then, finally, there is the Book of Insight, which you can access between campaign missions to improve your hero unit, the Lady Iris. Throughout the campaign, you will control Lady Iris like any other unit, but she also has powers that can be used, such as area of effect spells to destroy hordes of horrors, or a healing spell to heal buildings and walls. Although the economy and research side of the game are not huge in their own right, once combined with the tower defense RTS-style gameplay, everything comes together in a very satisfying formula. Firstly, we have the main campaign, which has a mixture of exploration and tower defense missions, but mainly RTS-style tower defense levels where you need to build an economy and hold out against the horrors for long enough to progress through the campaign. The compelling post-apocalyptic story of fighting a losing battle, that reminds me of Against the Storm, with serious Spanish vibes, looks and sounds genuinely decent. My only complaint being it was a bit too short, but partly that's a compliment because I was enjoying it and didn't want the story to end. In addition, there is a skirmish mode and a survival mode. Really, with all of these modes, you are doing the same thing, building up and defending a base in the face of increasingly difficult waves of horrors. But it's mainly the way you research and upgrade that's different. There is also a fun sandbox mode where you can build whatever you like without resource limitation for some absolute carnage. Hopefully by now you have an idea of what it's like to actually play Cataclismo, so let's address some other more practical considerations that might help your purchasing decision. Cataclismo is the perfect example of easy to learn, but difficult to master. The low number of units and easy to understand objectives make the game easy to pick up, but you will honestly go down a rabbit hole looking into the best wall designs that are effective, but also as cheap to build as possible. Cataclismo is also very easy to pick up and put down. You could easily complete a level in 30 or 45 minutes, but equally some harder missions can take as long as you like because you'll pause the game and constantly try to min-max your unit placement or building. Cataclismo is a single-player experience only. The full price of this game really isn't bad considering the amount of content you get. However, it's regularly on sale with a 25% discount, so there's really no need to pay full price. When it comes to longevity, the game has a lot of community content for you to try, whether that's construction blueprints for you to save and use for yourself, or fun custom levels for you to try. Suffice to say, if this game hooks you, it really hooks you. So with all that said, is Cataclismo right for you today? As always, it depends who you are and what you're into. First off, this game is often compared with They Are Billions. If you enjoyed that game, then Cataclismo is a pretty safe bet for you. More broadly, if you enjoy tower defense games, especially with a bit of RTS economy flavoring, you will definitely enjoy Cataclismo. If, however, you're not all that keen on tower defense or RTS, but you do enjoy a good story, then the story in Cataclismo is worth getting your teeth stuck into. The visual aesthetic of the game, along with the eerie soundtrack and desperate plight of humanity themes, really come together to produce a satisfying campaign experience, which you can enjoy with a low difficulty setting. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask, or if you already own the game and have some additional information you'd like to add, please let us all know in the comments below. If you found the video useful, please leave a like for the algorithm gods, and if you enjoy this style of review, consider subscribing for more content, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.